Do you have an upcoming Salesforce interview and are not aware what can be asked as the part of the Apex coding? In this video, I am going to cover one of the pattern that is usually asked in the interviews. But before getting started, if you are not feeling confident before going to the interviews, you can have one-to-one mock interviews with me by clicking on the top mate link below. So let's get started. So first, the scenario is something like this, that we have one account, and under one account there are multiple contacts, right? Con 1, con 2 and con 3. Out of this all these contacts, only one contact is going to be active at a time. Okay, for one account only one contact is going to be primary or an active at a time. So the scenario is that whenever an active contact's phone number, that is 3333, these are nothing but the contact's phone number. So if I'm going to update the active contact's phone number, the same phone number should get populated inside the account. On the other hand, if I'm going to update the phone number of con 2, the same phone number should not get populated on the account, and it is similar for the con 1 as well. Basically saying that only active contact's phone number should get populated on the account. So let's take the real time look into it. For an example, right now we have one account named as account 1, and under this account I have multiple contact named as contact 1, contact 2 and contact 3. Here contact 1 has phone number as this, right, and it's not active. Contact 2 has phone number as 2222 and it's not active as well. But contact 3 over here is active and its phone number is 3333. So basically, our goal is that whenever I'm going to update the phone number of this particular contact, then I have to populate the same phone number inside this account as well. So let's plan what we are going to do. The planning is something like that. First of all, we need to make sure that trigger works only for the active contact. What do I mean by that is, if I'm going to update con 2 or con 1, the trigger should not even work. On the other hand, if I'm going to update only con 3, basically only then my overall logic should work, right? So to avoid any kind of nuisance, basically we will just make our logic work only for the active contact and not for the inactive contacts. The second scenario is that we have to verify something common in account and contact so that code is bulkified. So basically, if you want to make the code as bulkified, you have to find something common and you have to create the maps according to that. And number 3 is query all the parent account and update the data. Now make sure that the overall code is bulkified. So if tomorrow, if thousands of records are updated at the same time, still the code should work perfectly. So let's move on to our canvas and let's start writing the code. So let's first of all make sure about the point number 1, that we need to make sure that trigger works only for the active contact. So for that, first I'm going to loop over the contact. First of all, I'm writing the trigger on the contact in after update context, and the reason is as I'm updating from account I'm updating the account from the contact. So that's why if I'm updating the related things, so in that cases we use after updates or afters. So I'm going to contact con trigger.new. Now here, first of all, I need to make sure that my trigger works only for the active contact. Now to do that, if con dot active underscore underscore c, if it is true, only then we should run the rest of the code. Now the overall code will only work if the contact is active. Now let's move to the next part. The next part is that if the phone number is updated, only then we have to run the logic, right? Next part is, now to find out whether the phone number was purely updated or not, we have to first compare the older versions of the phone number and the newer version of the phone number. For an example, if the previously the phone number was 3333 and I have updated 2222, now recently I have updated to 2222. So in that cases, I need to find out whether the older versions of the phone number was not equal to the newer version. So for that, I have to use trigger.old map. So contact conold equals to trigger.old map dot get con dot id. Now using this, I will get the older versions of the contact. So before updating, let's say the phone number was 3333. Okay. Now inside con, I'm going to get using trigger.new, I'm going to get the current contact, right? Inside the current contact, first I'm going to check whether if con dot phone mobile phone is not equal to con old dot mobile phone. So here the con old mobile phone is 3333 and currently we have updated the con as 2222. So if both are not equal to each other, only then the rest of the code is going to work. Now to do that, next point we have to map is that we have to actually find out something common between contact and account so that we can make the code bulkified. So basically what we have to do is we have to map which account is linked to which contact. To do that, I'm going to create a map of id comma contact, map of contact equals to new map of id comma contact. Now inside this map of contact, I'm going to link which account con dot account id comma con. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to map which account is linked to which contact. Okay, now you might be thinking, okay, one account can have multiple contacts, so why did you write just contact? Why did you not write list of contact? The reason is that we are pretty sure that only one contact is going to be active, right? Only one contact is going to be active, rest of the contacts we do not take care of, but we just had to take care of only one contact which is actually active. So we are only going to take one contact as the key value. So that's why I've created a map of id comma contact, because we are just going to have one contact which is active. So that's the reason why I've created a map of id comma contact. So here I'm trying to link which account is linked to which contact. So basically over here in our case, account 1 is linked to contact 3, right, which is an active contact. So contact 3. So what I have done is I have linked that account 1 is linked to contact 3. Now I've done this using this map. Now next thing what I need to do is I need to check if this map of contact dot key set dot size is greater than 0. This is just to make sure the code does not works in rest of the scenarios. Okay, so if basically in the rest of the scenario, let's say if contact was not active, in that case map will not get populated. If map is not getting populated, then I don't want to run the rest of the code. So that's why I'm checking the size beforehand. So now let's come to the third point. The third point according to us was that we have to query all the parent account and update the data. So I'm going to query all the accounts which are related to this contact. Map of dot key set. So over here, let's say id, and one more field I need is phone. So over here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, first of all, map of contact is going to hold the ID of the account one. Using this, I'm trying to query the account. Basically, I'm just trying to query the account. Now, as soon as I found the account, using this, what I'll get is I'll get the actual account, that is the whole account one itself. Now, once I've got it, what I need to do is I need to map the particular phone number. Basically, what I need to do is acc.phone. I need to map the phone number to the contact, to the account, sorry, dot get acc.id. So over here, what I'm trying to do is, if you understand, using this, I'm going to loop over this each of these account one by one. And as I've already created a map which is linked, which is saying that which account is linked to which contact, I'm trying to get, okay, for which account, for this particular account which I'm looping currently, which contact is linked to it. Okay, automatically, if I'm looping over right now on account one, automatically, as soon as I pass the ID as of the account one, I'm going to get the contact 3, because we have created the map at the top. So I'm going to get the contact 3. But the problem over here is I'm not getting the phone number of the contact 3, but instead I'm getting the whole contact itself. To get the particular phone number, I'm going to use mobile phone. So using this, first I created the linkage of which account is linked to which contact. Then I'm looping over each of this contact, each of the parent contact, and I'm trying to find, okay, for this particular contact which I'm looping currently, let's say I'm looping on the account one contact. Okay, so I'm looping over the account one contact. I'm passing the ID of the account one contact to this map. As soon as I pass the ID, which is the key, which is acting as a key, I will get the contact which is linked to that account. As soon as I find it, I'm trying to pull the phone number from it, and I'm populating the phone number inside the account. Next, to update everything, I'm going to create list of account acc list equals to new list of account. I'm going to add the updated accounts inside this account list, and if size is greater than 0, then I'm going to update the account itself. Now, just to make sure that we are not doing any null pointer exception or we are not doing any kind of unnecessary updates, I'm just going to use a checking, that is map of contact dot contains key acc.id. So using this, I'm just trying to make sure that if I'm looping on a particular account, right, whichever account I'm looping, whether it actually exists within my maps or not. Okay, if that account exists within my map, only then I'll get the value of the contact which is linked to that account, and I'll populate it within the phone number. Now once everything is done, our code is ready to work. Let's check it out whether it is working or not. So right now, as we can see, account 1 has no phone number at all. So I'm going to go to an inactive contact, that is contact 2, and I'm going to update the phone number over here. 333. Okay, so it has 333, 4 threes at the end. Let's click on save. Now as it was inactive, let's see whether the phone number got updated on the account or not. We have contact 3 as well. Let's go to the account. Yeah, so as we can see, phone number is not populated at all. But now if I go to the contact 3, which is an active contact, if I'm going to update the number as 111 at the last end, let's see whether the phone number is getting populated or not. So let's click on refresh. So as you can see, phone number was successfully populated from the contact to the account. So this was all about this video. If you found this video helpful, I request you to please like this video and subscribe to my channel.